Thank you for watching. This is Edward Finch, and these are my opinions.
Ah! When is the madness gonna stop? I think I'm a MAGA. I want to make America great again. You know, like when the big scandals were a vice president that couldn't spell potato. Or even a president who said we could read his lips, he would not raise taxes, yet then had to raise taxes for the good of the country. This week, I had the pleasure of reading and hearing things such as a congresswoman who doesn't know the difference between cold soup and Nazi police. I had to listen to a congressman who thinks that if you're on Medicare, you're going to get COVID. And then there was the senator who thinks that people should have access to nuclear weapons, so if 30% of the population want to, they can overthrow the government. Finally, I heard the Republicans, should they regain control after the midterm elections, want to pass a constitutional amendment that requires that government spending is never greater than the revenue it takes in. Now, at first glance, this last idea seems reasonable. Let the country live within its means. However, really it is counterintuitive. For example, during the COVID pandemic, revenue taken in from taxes was hard hit because a lot of people weren't working. Therefore, according to the proposed amendment, spending would need to be cut by the same amount as the lost revenue. Yet that is when the people that are out of work needed help the most. Or, let's say we end up in a war and a large portion of our military is in the combat zone. When military personnel are in the combat zone, they're exempt from paying federal income tax, plus there is a small stipend added to their base pay. This means when we're at war, our revenue goes down, but our military expenses go up. So where is the money going to come from to fund a war? Don't despair. There's a provision in the amendment for wartime spending, but not for such things as pandemic relief, natural disaster recovery, or any other new programs. So where are the Republicans going to get funding? By cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. I don't want to get too far off subject, and I plan on doing an episode on defense spending in the future. But does anybody think that we spend way too much on defense spending? My best friend and his wife are retired military, and I thank my lucky stars that I live in a country with a strong military of men and women, just like my friend and his wife, protecting our country so I could sleep at night, and I have the freedom to go about my life without worrying about being invaded. But do we need to spend so much more than every other country on earth on our military, and yet still receive the same security? I think not. I know senators were concerned of the burden that the Biden Build Back Better plan is going to have on our budget. The Build Back Better plan would cost 1/4 of what we spend on the military. If we took 25% of the military budget for the Build Back Better plan, we would still outspend China by 3 times and Russia by almost 10 times on military spending. But I digress. Looking at the House, the Senate, and even state and local governments, it seems to me that in the past 5 years, we've lowered our standards of who we want to govern us. The superstars of all levels of government are no longer those with the greatest ideas to help the country grow and prosper. Instead, it's who can come up with the stupidest soundbite. It's no longer about leading, but getting airtime. It's no longer listening to what people need and want, but who will contribute the most to your campaign. If you're a Republican, you no longer need an agenda to get elected. All you have to do is spread false claims about the Democratic agenda. The reality is, the Republicans don't want to have an agenda. Because if they have an agenda, they would have to defend it, and they know they can't do that. I want to start a movement. So we need to come up with a fancy tagline like Make America Great Again, or MAGA for short. If we could come up with a good tagline, maybe we can get some of the loud, obnoxious minority to back something that helps themselves and the country as a whole. I'm sure if you ask a MAGA supporter what was so great about America that is no longer there, they would all give the same response. They are patriots, they don't want the government telling them what to do, and they want their freedom. But if you ask them to explain, they would have no idea. All they know is the sound bites that they've heard on TV and they've read on social media. So I need your help. What could we call this new movement? I was thinking of MANA, Make America Normal Again. Or MASA, Make America Sane Again. But I'm sure you have much better suggestions than that. So please add them in the comments below. Once again this week, I want to thank you for watching. And don't forget to smash that like button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And please, feel free to share this on all of your social media. Thank you and have a great day.